This is Chris from Stormbringer magazine, day one of the Nova Rock Festival 2012. We're here in the backstage together with Brandon from Rise Against. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine.
Shake my hand, come on. I just got here yesterday. I'm a little bit jet lagged, but I'm excited. We have
First show in Europe?
What's that?
First show in Europe?
First show in Europe in a while, yeah. And but I'm excited. It's a good festival, and there's some cool bands. Refused, Lagwagon. So yeah, fun.
Cool that you can have the co-headlining position this evening in the blue stage.
Yeah.
What is that for feeling? Because when it took some years back, do you ever expect that you get a play position like this?
No. Yeah, we've been coming here for a long time to Austria, and I think we're all shocked that we actually are playing this late in the day, you know. But it's an honor, you know. It'll be a little bit dark, hopefully, and it should be a great show. But yeah, when you come so far from home and there's all these fans, and they're into the band and they know the lyrics, and it is a good feeling. So
must be enough energy for you in the show.
Yeah. It's gonna feel good.
Let's talk about your last album. Your latest album, Endgame, was released last year. The reactions from the fans and the press is great. You get very high chart entries around the world. And what's interesting question from my side is that you use a really strong message behind Endgame about all of things that's going on in this world and it's going mad things.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that people also understand that in countries where English is not the mother language, you know? Do you think that people get interested in the lyrics because that you get that high resonance from the fans?
You know, I think whether you're in an English-speaking country, I mean, obviously over here most people speak English or some English, so I think they have an understanding of the language enough to realize what the lyrics are about. But even in like the U.S. or like, you know, where it's all English-speaking, I don't think everyone gets into the lyrics, you know. I think there's people that are obsessed with the lyrics, and then there's people that just come for the fast music and to have fun, you know. So I think over here, I think, you know, obviously people, it's English, people can speak some English, and I think if they want to get into the lyrics, if that's their thing, they'll figure out a way. So
I think this is an important thing in Rise Against, the lyrics, the message what you want to give to the people.
Yeah, to us it is really important, you know. It's like half the band is like our message and everything, but you still have fans, you know, that don't really grab onto the lyrics that much, and then you have fans that are obsessed with the lyrics, so, you know, 50-50.
Yeah, but when we talk about the fans that don't grab the lyrics, we have also the fans who, as you said before, come for the music, want to get fucked up and get in the pit and everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, music is living from changes. Music is changing.
Yeah.
As a musician, you changes too, so old fans come and go. What do you think about that? Because I can remember some albums before when you change a little bit, you start in music, some people are like, oh, come on, what's going on in that way? What's your view on that?
You know, obviously we all started this band when we were kids. You know, when we started the band, I was like 20 years old or something. So, you know, I think you change musically, the lyrics change, and I think since then we've all gotten more involved in politics and more involved in our surroundings in the world, you know, and the more traveling you do, I think the more you kind of open your eyes to what's going on in the whole world, not just your little neighborhood. And I think so lyrically maybe it's changed, and then musically it's always going to change because you can't write the same record over and over, you know, and that's boring for us, and I think it's boring for the fans. And maybe if a fan hears like a song that's different, maybe their initial reaction is like, oh, that doesn't sound like Old Rise Against. But imagine if we had written the same record every time. Now we're 12 years deep, you know. So I think as musicians we evolve, and I think the fans will appreciate that in the long run, that we try new things, and you know, I think it's the way to do it.
I can understand it. It's a cool view on the things. Let's talk about the album Appeal to Reason. I read in an interview, I had to look at my sheet because I never can keep it in mind, that you told that Appeal to Reason was a paper released for workers back in 1897. Is history that a big part in the music of Rise Against? Do you really like to look back, or was it something you see it and you get interested into?
Yeah. I think it's fun to like, for people to look up Appeal to Reason and go, what's that? And if you put it into the old Google, the old World Wide Web, it's worldwide. I'm kidding, but you know, then that would pop up and maybe interest them in something interest them in something that happened a long time ago. But it had dual purposes, you know. So
And the political things, or you said the things we've done before in the history, do you always take a look at America, or you always sometimes take a look over the big lake to us, to Europe, and see what's going on here?
You know, I think anyone in this day and age, anyone who has any brains in their head should look at the entire world, because we're all living on this thing together, you know what I mean? And we're all linked, so linked now, you know? So, but yeah, I think, we try to, and I think, like I was saying before, being in a band, I think the traveling, and it makes you realize how small the world is, and how, you know, if we don't all do this together, you know, we're going to fail, so
it's a good feeling for you, come around the world, see all the different things what's happening, but then also kind of the thing sometimes it's very hard for you when you come to countries where some things are not that comfortable. I think you also see that on tour. Do you have any quote for us from this one?
But it's,
for example, that you get really to a country where you're a little bit shocked what's going on there when you play there with your band.
I mean, as far as just the cultural shock, you know, it's just different, but that's interesting to me. I mean, it's nice to be, you know, in a weird place. Feels good.
I think there's sometimes more cultural shock when you come out from America. There's so many different countries.
Well, it's interesting too, because America, we're Americans, but a lot of us came from over here. So it's interesting to come here and be like, oh, my great grandpa was telling me about Austria or whatever, you know, because there's all these stories from our families that came from here. So it's like, even though we're not European, we have these like long distance ties to here. So it makes it interesting to come over here and sort of be like, oh, this is the country my ancestors were talking about or whatever, you know. It's interesting.
So you like to grab the family tree and maybe look up where you come from originally.
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting.
Do you do that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And
where am I from? I am. Well, my last name is English, but I'm not English. There was like one English guy in my family that passed down the Barnes name, but I'm Irish, a little bit of Swedish, a little bit of German.
That's great. Huh?
Yeah, I'm a mutt. I'm a bunch of people. Yeah.
Let's come back to Rise Against. You play tonight this big show.
Yeah.
I mean, many people show up. I see many guys out there with the T-shirt, and many girls like, oh yeah, let's go Rise Against and having good times. What are the plans for 2012? Do you have any tour planned, or may you start to work on a new album?
You know, 2012 we have some tour plans that I can't talk about yet, but we're doing a little bit of touring, and then I think we're gonna, you know, take a break for a while, rethink what we're doing, and start the recording process again. But we've been on tour for a while now, and we have to finish out this year and part of 2013, and then I don't know, somewhere in 2013 we will take a break, write a new record, and do it all over again.